Welcome back to Project 94 for another Diecast review here on the channel. Today, we're going to be starting the review of two of the most popular cars from the recent batch. Here is going to be the first one of those two cars, this two-car set. Here is AJ Allmendinger. Yes, it's an AJ Allmendinger Cup diecast, not a race version, a standard AJ Allmendinger paint scheme, a special one at that. It is his 2023 Gain Food City number 16 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 for Kaulig Racing. So Kaulig Racing in 2023 was able to pick up the Tide and Gain Food City sponsorship this year for the Bristol Dirt Race. And if you guys remember last year, we got one of the Petty GMS, now Legacy Motorsport Club cars. We got Eric Jones and his Tide paint scheme. But the Tide, or the Food City Gain Ty Dillon car was made on the PTC mold and canceled in the Gold Series. However, this year, we got both the Tide and Gain cars for Kaulig Racing in the Gold Series released full-time. Anybody can get it on the EL mold, which is extremely important. Lionel Racing must have known this, and they definitely took our advice on that one for sure. So you don't have to worry about any custom versions of these cars. They have been made officially. Very beautiful, good-looking car. This is honestly, I've looked all over my collection. I don't have any other Gain cars. This is the only Gain car or Gain diecast product thing that I have at all. So very excited to have this one. Of course, I use a lot of Tide and Gain to wash my clothing, so these cars are cool to have. So without further ado, let's get this diecast out of the box. Like I said, this is a two-car set. You can get this with the other Tide car. And of course, if you're a stop-motion maker, it helps to have an AJ Allmendinger diecast officially released by Lionel Racing. Am I right? Here it is, out of the box. And that green color on camera is definitely a bit off compared to how it looks in real life. It's hard for me to explain it. The green is a bit brighter and more on the lime side. Not even a lime. It's like more. It has like a zingy look to it. That's the best word I can come up with. It's zingy. That's for sure. The camera just makes it look like a generic Walmart paint, which you guys got to get this car in person to really see how these colors are, because this camera is very wishy-washy with colors like this. But I could tell you this car, the green on it, is a standout color on this paint scheme. It looks fantastic. I don't have anything else to say other than it looks great. It's zingy, like I said earlier. The green, it's definitely not the GoDaddy green. I remember the GoDaddy green looking a bit more different than this. But it could be similar in some ways. However, the green is straight up unique. I don't have any other cars in my collection with this shade of green, or the sponsor. So let's get straight into it. You got number 16 right there. You have Kaulig Racing. Of course, the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 front end of this car. You have Gain on the hood right there. You got the hood vents as well. You have the gold Chevy logo with the Allmendinger name banner on there. You have Sunoco, blue Goodyears on the fenders with yellow Goodyears and gray rims on the wheels themselves. You have the NASCAR Cup Series logo, the 75th anniversary logo for NASCAR. Got the number 16, AJ Allmendinger. You got Kaulig, Chevrolet, Celsius, Nutrien, and Kaulig companies. You have Gain. You have the little exhaust port right there, and another little exhaust port there as well, because remember, this paint scheme, unlike a lot of other diecasts, the design goes all the way down. They wrapped it onto the sides of the underbody, which makes it stand out more and gives the designers a bit more room to add some extra detail to the paint scheme. So, of course, you have a big Gain logo right there. Makes good use of that new number placement. You have Leaf Filter, Food City, and then let's look at this. You have Hyper Ice, Ellswood Advisory, or Advisors, Action Industries, AG1, Barger, which is the car he won that ridiculous Xfinity race in. Then, of course, you have Kaulig companies. Then on the back of this thing, you have Smell Ya Later. This thing, literally, looking at the back of it, this gives me, like, Disney Pixar Cars vibes. You know how they put, like, those, like, I don't want to say cringy slogans, because they are pretty cool. But it has like a Disney feel to it. Just the smell you later. It seems like something that's on a Disney Pixar car. Fake sponsor from the Piston Cup series. That's how cool this car is, and I'm actually comparing it to that. Smell you later. Pretty cool to have that on the back. You have Chevrolet. Number 16, Camaro ZL1 right there. No rear view camera. You have seriously good sense. So, man, there's slogans all across the back of this thing. Very cool. Good use of these panels on these next-gen cars. Of course, you have Allmendinger, I almost said AJ Allmendinger again, and 2 Gain logos on the roof with the number 16 on the top. So, as I explained earlier in the beginning of the video, this car was given that beautiful green that I was talking about, that super bright, zingy green. Looks super good. I don't really know if I should call it day glow green, but it's definitely a bright shade of green, that's for sure. So that's the base coat. They did not spray paint it orange or white or nothing. That's the whole color of the car. The numbers. So all the Kaulig cars is pretty much a standard for the roof. White outline, black outline, yellow number fill-in. That's kind of how they've always had it. Makes it easier for the spotters to find them on the racetrack. On the doors, they do get specialized colors. You could have the green outline, which matches the paint, a white outline, and an orange number fill-in. A pretty good shade of orange they used on it. It looks pretty good. It's more like the fruit orange sort of color, which I like it a lot. It looks good on this. It matches the logo. The same hex code was used, so they used the same green, the same orange that was on the Gain on the 16. They didn't just throw in a different shade of orange. It matches perfectly. And it's going to be orange outline, white number fill-in on the front, and on the back as well. So for the paint scheme itself, let's head over to the nose of this car. So starting on the front corners, the design doesn't really get on top of or behind the OEM details very much. It's a very clean green Camaro front end of this thing. Of course, with the black splitter, black spoiler, and black roof rails. Gotta mention that. So on the front corners, you're going to have a bit of an orange little triangle spike that's getting ready to start right there. Then, of course, you got some little sponges right there. It looks like a sponge. I hope that's what it is. It looks like a sponge with some bubbles right there on the front corner of this car. And that orange spike continues from the front corner. That little dark orange and orange triangular spike is going to slash through the wheel well. Got a very, very, very microscopic gray paint chip right there. You got the triangle spiking through with a big white triangle underneath to kind of complement it. Matches the rest of the color scheme of the white and orange. Of course, the green outline cuts some of it off because it would look awkward to have this white on top of another white and orange on top of another orange. I would have put that green outline there too to make it stand out. So good design choice. The spikes end just before the driver side window and passenger side window. And then, of course, if you look at the top, right by the name pillar, you're going to have another orange stripe with the same outline to it. And if this camera will zoom in, just focus more, that'd be better. Here we go. The same oranges that were used for that stripe, it's up here as well. And of course, got a bit of white right there as well. It's going to be flowing out of the driver window, out of the side windows right there. It doesn't go anywhere else. It just stays within where the name is, which is pretty good looking there. It looks awesome to have some of the green still be on the upper portions of this car instead of the orange and white covering everything on the top. I love how they kept it majority green. You're going to have some bubbles, some glimmers, glitz and glamour of lights right there. Got a big bubble right there, a few more bubbles right there. Got some more little bubble particles right there. Got a bit of array of light right there, array of light right here with 2 more little rays of light, another bubble right there, and a handful of the little soap bar thing. Well, not soap bars. It's like those like scrubby, dang man, low IQ. I can't even name what that was. Sponge. Okay, those sponges that they use to kind of scrub things with. Yeah, they're yellow and they're all over the sides of this car on the rear portion by the rear wheel right there. I don't think it's a split paint job. I believe it's the same pattern on both sides. Yep, looks to be the same on both sides. regardless of how it sort of looks, kind of I don't want to say it looks messy. It's not. I don't want to say it's all over the place either. It's just a lot of detail. That's what I'll put. A lot of detail with the bubbles and the sponges and the lighting of it. Looks super good. I mean, it looks clean. Of course, that's the intention of these designs. They're supposed to be cleaning products, which is why they look clean. Here's the back. Of course, the little quarter panel right there in white with the bit of orange starting right there. The orange is a bit thicker on the quarter panel than on the actual bumper. You're going to see what I'm saying here shortly. Coming onto the back bumper, very thin orange stripe, which is so thin that it looks darker than it's supposed to be. And of course, you got the white bumper in the back right there. It does not exactly follow the bumper line. It just goes a bit over, and it's a straight line with the white and orange. The thickest stripe being the white. Deck lid has really nothing on it except the slogan. And on the roof, just the number 16 and the 2 gains. Nothing behind that. It's just mostly the sides that are covered in the design, which is super cool. I like this. And honestly, comparing this to last year during this 360 view here, both are good. I don't have complaints about either one. I mean, both gain designs. And of course, there was a 2017 37 car that had gain on it, if I recall, far back enough. All the gain paint schemes have looked fabulous. So I don't have anything bad to say about either one. One is not better than the other. Let's just put it that way. They're both extremely good. Same can be said about this set. The gain and Tide cars, neither one is better than the other. They both look great. And they make a great set. So here's the side of it with all those bubbles and those sponges. It just looks so fantastic, man. This is a great looking... If you're a sponsor, this is how you design a car to match the theme, the product of your sponsor. This is how you make it look. If you're a graphic designer out there, like I am, this is how you design a paint scheme. Here's the back. Here's the deck lid. Here's the roof and the hood. Just the top profile of this car. Here's the left side, which is the same. Of course, the biofuel logo. Before I forget that, I usually forget that in reviews. Super good looking car, guys. I really love the way this looks. It's gotta be one of my favorite of the two. After I just said that I didn't like one more than the other. It's just the green. I don't know, guys. I'm honestly contradicting myself big time. These are both great cars. Watch me say in the Tide video that, oh, now this is my favorite one between the two. You just can't pick one. But I do like green, so this kind of slightly has the edge. There's not a lot of green NASCARs out there, or race cars in general. I mean, yeah, you do have those Aston Martins and other race cars that have green. But there's been some conspiracy theories about having the color green on your race car. But hey, as long as it looks good, it works for me. Thank you all for checking out this Diecast review. Comment, like, and subscribe. And please share these videos with your friends and family so you can have some more followers on this channel. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecasts. And stay tuned for the next diecast review, the Tide car, the teammate, Justin Haley. Always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecasts.